Hey guys, Happy New Year. How good is the start of the new financial year? For me, it's exactly the same as the start of the calendar year. January 1 and July 1 are kind of the same thing for me. All right, today, given that we're at the start of a new year, I want to talk about a few things that you can do, some actions that you can take to build some new habits to make you better off long term. I'm going to get straight into it. We've called it the value of time. It's a drum that we've beaten quite a few times, and I will beat this drum till the day I die. Let's have a look at what we are going to talk about. You've heard me say this before. Don't run off and do what I say because you think it's a good idea. Give us a call. Make sure it's appropriate first. All right, new year. It is the new year. Yesterday was financial year eve. Today is the first of the new financial year. Let's have a look at some things you can do. We have our Your Wealth, Your Way program. I've talked about it before. On one side, we say the ordinary done consistently produces extraordinary results. Get in control of your super. Make sure it's invested appropriately. Make sure your loans are, in your favor. Banks are not looking out for you. They're looking out for them and their shareholders. It's up to you to ensure that you do what needs to be done to ensure that your loans suit you and not them. All right, so check your loan interest rates. Have a look at them. What are you paying? Jump online, Google variable interest rates, fixed rate interest rates. Give your bank a call. Give them a nudge. Say, hey, I'm going to leave if you don't do something about this. Do something to suit yourself. Your insurance, don't have multiple insurances. This is little things I see with people all the time. They've got different insurances and different super funds. They don't even know they've got it, or it's not appropriate, or it keeps on growing. I can't tell you the horror stories I've seen with people paying $20,000 a year in insurance out of their super that they didn't even know was happening. It's just killing their super fund. An automated savings program. I'm going to talk about that a bit more. Make sure your super is invested appropriately. If you want, give me a call. Let's have a chat. We'll send you a third-party authority. You can sign it. We'll forward it to your super fund, and we'll give you a call back with the full rundown and tell you, is it appropriate? And we can fix it if it's not. That's what we're here to do. All right, begin an automated savings program. I want to tell you why this is the most important, and I'm going to show you with an example why it's so important to start yesterday if you can. All right, a 30-year period, okay? It's a long time, and why do people not take actions? Because there's too much time between now and getting the result. Why do people keep on their bad habits? Because it's too much time between now and getting the result. It's the same thing. The time is going to pass. If you don't do anything about it, you don't get any advantage of the time that you've had. If you take some action, you're going to be much better off for the time that's gone past you. We are about taking advantage of time, getting the full potential out of what it offers you. Let's say if you invest $1,000 a month for 30 years. Over 30 years, assuming 7% above inflation. So if inflation was at 2%, it's a 9% return. But we want to keep things in today's dollars. So we've said 7%. So this is today's dollars. If you invested $1,000 a month over 30 years, you will end up with $1.13 million at a 7% return above inflation. You've put in $360,000 and it's earned you $773. Wow, Jace is just throwing numbers at me. Wait until you see what this all means. This final column here, let me get my face out of the way. This final column, which is the total earnings, okay? It's accumulating, all the way up to that there is $773,000. That there is $360,000. The combination, $1.13 million, okay? If I laid that down sideways, so it's now this one down here, and showed you what each year's worth of contributions meant in total, this is what it means. The first year, let me try and explain this. Let's say if you invested $1,000 a month for 1 year only, you invested $12,000, 7% above inflation, and you let it sit there for 30 years, you're going to end up with about $85,000 at the end, okay? You put in 12, it earns 73. $73,000, whatever it actually is 9.5% of the total earnings, okay? The first year is 9.5% of the total earnings. Years 1 and years 2 is 18.3%. So between today, 1 July 2022 to 1 July 23 to 30 June 24, if you did that and put your money away, you would end up with 18.3% of the total earnings. Look at this. The final 15 years only makes up 15% of the earnings because you don't have as much time for your money to be invested. The first 5 years makes up 40%. The next 10 years makes up 43%. So in the first 15 years, we've got 84.3% of the total earnings. The last 15 years, the last half is only 15%. It is so important that you take advantage of time now, okay? Because it's the impact that the first part of it has on the overall is so significant. Now you might say, look, I understand that, but you know, if I've only got 15 years left, I've got half the time, I'll double the amount. Okay, well, maybe, but maybe not. If you invested the $1,000 a month for 30 years, you end up with that. Well, we just went 360 and 773. If you started 15 years later and said, I'll put in 2,000, 24 a year, but you've only got 15 years, you're only going to earn $243,000. You have got $530,000 less. The value from compounding comes from all the time, but especially the time in the early days, okay? There's a book up on my bookshelf over there. You sometimes see it. I'm sitting on the other side of the desk today, called Atomic Habits. It is an absolute amazing book. Read it if you're into reading. I was going to refer to it for some reason there, but I've lost my train of thought. No, lost it. It's gone. But my point, as you can see, he talks about you need to master the art of showing up. You may not be able to afford $1,000 a month. That's okay. Can you afford $50 a month? Do you have young children that you can put away $20 a month for them and start a habit for them? My point is to do something to start building a good habit. Guys, that is me. First one for the year. Financial year. I'm excited about what's going to happen. Not in the world, I'm a bit all over the place there, but in terms of the Friday wrap and the year ahead that we've got coming our way. So looking forward to working with you all. We've got to do it all again this year. So you know what we're like. We're here to help. We're here to make things better. Please give us a call if you've got any questions at any time. We're going to do our best to make you guys better off for your relationship with us. That's what we're about. So happy New Year. I hope it's a good one, and I look forward to talking soon.